Hello, everyone, and welcome to Education 500. This is Dr. Allen here. Most importantly, I hope your summer's going well. And also, I guess, most importantly, or close to most importantly, welcome to the class. Few things before I start going over what we're going to be doing in Education 500. One, I try to do these weekly videos just to kind of touch base with everyone. We are an asynchronous class, so we do not have a set meeting time, but you're welcome to watch these videos to help out. I do my best to do these in one take, so there might be some ums and pauses and hiccups or coughing. I try to limit all that, but it would also be it's pretty tough to do them in one take or without. I would be doing them all day, so I just try to do them in one take and roll with it. I figure if I mess up in the class, I probably would. If I was starting to have a coughing fit or something like that, I wouldn't be able to reset. So same thing here. Uh, I will say I try to keep the videos at the 15-20 minute mark. That's what I do in the fall and the spring. Summer class, it might be a little trickier because we're doubling up a little bit of the assignments. But with that being said, I put up videos that help with the tech, and you may find them more useful than what I'm talking about anyway. So I'll still try to hold fast on that 15 to 20 minute time frame. Be the first to admit this one might be a little long because I do want to touch base on a few things with the syllabus and requirements and things like that. So, with all that being said, let me go ahead and share the screen or share my screen. And right off the bat, this is probably not the best way to start with everything. I will say we're having storms in the area when I'm recording this. This is the weekend before the 4th of July, and some storms have been going through. So, my camera's been kind of going on and off. So, hopefully, it'll stay on and I don't disappear. But one, welcome to Ed 500. Everything that you need is going to be on the Brightspace site. I think everyone hopefully knows how to navigate Brightspace at this point. We're a few years into it now at Shepherd, but just in case, course home is here. Content, pretty much everything you're going to need is going to be under course content for the class. I try to do a weekly setup. Of course, you can see it's a little slow. These storms have been going through pretty quick. But there we go. I think it jumped. Nope, it didn't. Course. Let's see. There it goes. Oh, you can tell. Hopefully, this isn't a sign of things to come. But as you can see, I have everything lined up week one, week two, week three, week four. Week four is kind of a combo of the week four and week five, which is kind of a partial week. Discussion boards are here. There are no quizzes in the class, and the grades and such are there. Syllabus is right here if you need it. We're going to actually check that out here in a few moments. But again, everything should be on Brightspace. These videos will also be posted. I do not have it up right now. This is actually the link to last year's video. I haven't put this one up because I haven't finished recording it. With that being said, I will try to make sure that everything's up fairly quick each week so you can go ahead and check it out. I don't usually open the weeks up early only because of organization, and I want to make sure we're all kind of pacing. There are a couple assignments that you will be able to do ahead of time, and I'll show those to you here when we're going over the syllabus. So with that being said, let me go ahead and pull the syllabus up. I'm just going to do it this way. Hey, okay. Just in case, I think everyone in here knows this, but you're in Ed 500. I think there are a couple of people that are undergraduates that are in this class. This is your Ed 380. Please make sure you have that substitute form completed if you haven't already. But with that being said, let's look. Most of this I'm not going to go word for word on. You're welcome to check it all out. The course description actually deals with technology. We're going to look at things related to ed tech and how you can employ it into the classroom or apply it into the classroom. Let me say this: I don't. I don't want you to think this class is supposed to be more useful than hard. I'm not saying you still have to do everything. There's a lot of organization to the class. With that being said, as long as you're doing your tech and everything, hopefully, and there's a couple of written assignments that you have to do, I don't think this should be a class that should be hopefully too much of a stressor. So hopefully you'll just take a few things out and you'll be able to employ in the classroom. Some of you may already be teachers. You may be familiar with a lot of this. Maybe you can pick up a few things. And if you're not in the classroom yet, hopefully you'll be able to learn some stuff and pick out some things that you can use when you're student teaching or in the field and such. So long story short, though, a lot of tech. And also, please don't cheat. There's course objectives if you need them in our outlines. We don't have to worry about any type of weather because we're an online class. I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not overlooking anything. Um, okay, few things. Here's what we're going to do for assignments. And that's kind of where I want to just jump right in. Um, oh, by the way, I should jump back up. I didn't. I went so quick. Obviously, it's summer. If you need to talk to me, make sure that you can just send me an email. We can Zoom, or I am on campus a decent amount, even in the summer. I guess decent amount compared to what some people are. That's not a knock on anyone. I just kind of pop in and out because I don't live too far away. Sometimes I get more done there. You're welcome to kind of stop by if you email me in advance because I don't have set office hours in the summer. So I wanted to make sure to make that point. All right. So what do you have to do in this class? Well, one, make sure everything. We're gonna run from Monday. Excuse me, Monday. Sorry. I see. I needed a drink already. We basically run from Monday 12:01 to Sunday. Well, actually, I should say Monday midnight to Sunday 11:59 is kind of our weekly schedule. Obviously, a little different this week because of the holiday, but I'll have everything opened on the first day. Uh, I really try my best to get these things recorded, and I'll try to open them a little early, but we're basically operating from Monday to Sunday. Um, the assignments for this class: lesson plan, brainstorming activity. I know everyone's experience with lesson planning probably varies in this class. This is a class you can actually take pre-juncture. That means pre-student teaching, pre-field experience. So some people haven't had the depth of lesson planning. Some have had it, depending when you're taking it. I'll go over this assignment a little more in the next week or two, but you will basically, I'm looking for ways that you would apply technology into your lesson planning and lessons. But again, I'll get into that a little bit later. But if you're using Nearpod, you'll just go ahead and you're going to relate how the Nearpod would be used in a lesson, maybe on the Renaissance. I have a social studies background. That's what I would look at. There is a discussion board. For the summer, I have 5 discussion board posts. They're all related to the tech, like a pirate book that you needed for this class, and the prompts are related to that to make sure you're doing the readings. And I think there's some really good stuff. I tried to pick that book because I think there's some practical things in there. Um, I kind of cut back a little bit on the discussion boards in the summer because I think you're doubled up on the technology, but there's basically one a week that is due. I'm going to jump down to blogging real quick, before I talk about the classroom resources. The blogs are basically you're going to pick one of the texts a week and you're just going to write a review. Where the discussion board, you need to have around 200 words. And let me just say, I want about 200 words or more. If you have like 198 and the content's decent, I'm not going to come at you. It's not a federal offense or anything like that. But and sometimes if you just put 200 words in, it's kind of a lot of filler. I'm more into quality more than quantity, but 200 words is definitely a good number to kind of shoot for. Uh, Most people like a number. I think that's a pretty good one. Now, go down to the blog. The blogs are basically a reflection or a review of one of the texts you're going to do each week. And you're going to post those on Brightspace. And again, in fall and spring, I make everyone review everything that we do. In summer, I just want you to pick one for the week. So this week, the stuff that I'm going to talk about will be Google Classroom or Weebly, or the Google Arts and Culture. You can pick one of those and just kind of review it. The review only needs to be a couple of sentences. For example, I love Weebly. It was the best website maker I've ever done. We'll definitely use it in the future. Boom. I'm just looking, it helps me know what's useful and what's not sometimes. Now, with that being said, classroom resources, that is our actual tech. And if you look down here, these are some of the things we're going to be doing. We're going to be making a website. We're going to be doing Google Classroom. We're going to be using Edpuzzle. We're going to be using Nearpod or Pear Deck, your choice. You're going to be using Kahoot, or however it's gone, Gimkit, things like that. Wakelet, which is misspelled there. Should have an E. Let's fix that right now. Well, that's still spelled wrong. Wakelet. There you go. Video lesson creation. Actually, I need to update this because this is something I wanted to talk about in the coming weeks. We're actually going to do an AI review. I wanted to talk about Chat GPT. So we'll get into that, Flipgrid, things like that. You're going to make QR codes. Some of this you've probably done. When this class was first designed, I'm trying to update it a little bit because when we started teaching it, it was pre-pandemic. Most people didn't know any of this stuff. Now, post-pandemic, everyone's familiar with it in some regard. Some people have either been familiar with it in terms of they've either done it when they were a student or they actually have used it. A couple of things that you can do ahead of time. You have to do a technology certification. I have Google and Apple on here. I really, 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 I'm going to bold this just to make the point. I'll go over in another video. I'll put the link up this week, though, if you want to go ahead and get a head start on. You have to be certified in Apple, or you can do the Google Cert 1 or Level 1 certification. Couple of things with that, though. I would recommend doing Apple for one reason. One, Apple is free. Two, Apple is easier. The Google one you have to register, you have to pay $10 for. I do not want you to have to pay extra for this class, but some people have asked me in the past if they can do the Google certification, and I have no problems with it. I will tell you the Google is an actual honest to goodness test, and you may or may not get the certification. I only want you to attempt it. So if you did the Google, took the test, didn't pass it, I'm fine with that. You just need to verify that you took the test. The Apple is pretty straightforward. You just do things, you get check marks, and at the end, you get a certificate. You can put that on your resume, you can put that in your portfolio. Um, but that is something that you can do. You can start that today, but it's not due until the end. It's basically the final. So Google or Apple, Google Level 1, but the Apple is just the certification, and I would wholeheartedly recommend doing the Apple versus the Google. You also have a research paper that is due, this being a graduate class. And one thing about that is if you're going to do the research paper, I'm pretty flexible in the topics. There's a few things that are posted. I just want you to pick something that's technology related. It can be either a tech that you're actually using in the classroom, or you can do something with an issue of technology. Some people have done things on a post-pandemic, pre-pandemic world, or how the classrooms have changed. As long as it's got an ed tech vibe to it, I'm fine with it. And the requirements are, well, I'll show you that here when we go into the classroom space. Um, but that's kind of the class. That's what you're going to be doing. It's going to be, I try to make it straightforward. You have a lesson plan that'll be due. It's a brainstorming. It's not a hardcore lesson plan in depth. You have weekly discussion boards. You're going to do weekly tech. You have to do the blog on one of the techs, and then you do the certification and the research paper. These two you can definitely do anytime. These three you'll be doing, actually, I should say, these four you'll be basically doing on a week to week basis. And if you go down here, here's the layout. I color coded it just because I think it's just easier. If not, it looks like it just all runs into one. But this is going to be our first one. We're going to start on the 5th. I'll try to have this all opened earlier when you're watching this. You may be seeing it early, you may not. If not, I'll send it to you. I think I can still open it early, so hopefully you can get a little bit of a head start. This will be next week, blue, and then you can see the last two. These two I've kind of combined into one on the Brightspace page, and there's all the other stuff. That's our class. That's our syllabus. It's like I say, it's straightforward. If you follow this stuff week to week, you should be good. But let me get out of here. Now, with all that being said, let's go to the class. Maybe. There we go. Now, if you look this week, topic one we've already done. Welcome to 380. And I said 380. I should put, sorry, I put the undergrad. I'm so used to calling this 380 sometimes. Welcome to 500. Yay. And we'll even update it. We're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to look at Google Arts and Culture this week. We're going to look at Google Classroom, and we're going to make a website. Okay. First thing I do want you to do is this is a pretty simple one. If you go to the discussion board, there should be a welcome to Google Arts and Culture. It's our first discussion board. There's nothing in there yet because here's what you have to do. Google Arts and Culture, just to give you a little background, is a pretty cool little app. You're going to need your phone. I'm pretty sure most everyone has one of these. If for some reason you don't, just email me. I don't want to take anything for granted. You have to download, and this is probably the most scientific way to do this. And sorry, my old eyes, I'm going to have to put my glasses up. There it is. There's an app, and it's called, I don't know if I'm going to put it right there. It's by my fantasy football app. It's Arts and Culture. It's Google Arts and Culture. You need to download that app. Then you need to open that app and you'll get a screen that looks something like this. When you get that, there's going to be a little thing right down there where it looks like a camera because it is a camera. You're going to hit that camera, and at the bottom, there's a whole bunch of things down there. I'm hoping I'm doing this backwards, but you can see down there at the bottom. You're going to scroll to one that looks like that on the end. It's not the Eiffel Tower one, it's the one beside it. It looks like a face. You're going to hit it, and it's going to say art selfie. What I would like you to do is take an art selfie. You're going to hold it up. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to hold it up. You're going to put your face in there, and you're going to take it, and it's going to match you to someone you might look like. Like there's mine. I'll put this up. They'll give you other ones that'll be on there. This is not to make fun of anyone. This is just supposed to be fun. Some people look at it and they're like, "Oh my gosh, do I look like that?" Chances are, I don't know if you do or don't, but I just think it's probably a fun way to kind of get to see everyone and kind of like a little bit of an icebreaker. So if you could, after you take your picture, find one you like. If you want to take 6 million of them and get an image that you actually like the best, that is fine. I'm not here to judge any of that. Go to discussions. And what I would like you to do is just post your art selfie. You might have to screenshot it and download it, or however you can get it on there is fine with me. Um, Most of the time, what I do is once you get it, you screenshot it and just email it to yourself. You can email it to yourself, and then I just attach it. And then you just kind of say, "Hey, I don't think this looks like me at all. I don't know where it came from. I don't like it." Or, "Wow, I'm amazed how much this looked like me. It said I was a 62% match of this image. That blew my mind." All good. And then I'd like you to do a little bit of an intro. Things like, what is your content area? Are you secondary? Are you elementary? If you're secondary, are you in social studies, English, math, PE, art, elementary, which wouldn't be secondary? And just tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe your interests, what you're doing this summer. Are you traveling? Something like that. Like I've already went to the Outer Banks, had a good time. I'm back doing a little bit of work, hanging out with my kid. We've been golfing a lot. Good time. So, just a little bit about yourself and, put it on there and you'll post it. Good to go. Blog one, you can review the arts, Google Arts and Culture, and I would strongly recommend checking it out because it has a lot of cool stuff related to history, science, art. If you go back here, you'll see I have a video that kind of gives you an overview for it. It's the Google one, and they actually have a Google Arts and Culture page. And if you look, it doesn't have the art selfie. That's why you have to do the app because you need the camera. If you check it out, it has a lot. It has museum tours, things about the beach, a lot of, again, art. But, if you're going to be an art teacher, that might be a good thing. And you can check out museums, but just check it out. Next thing, after you take that art selfie and you post it and do your thing, tell us a little bit about yourself. Awesome. You got 2 texts you have to do this week and 1 chapter to read. You have to read Tech Like a Pirate, and you have to just chapter 1 in Tech Like a Pirate. You're going to use Google Classroom and you're going to do a website. I'm going to show you Google Classroom first, only because that's one that you may, well, let me say this first. I get a little rushed because I don't want to take up too much of your time watching me babble on a video, but I do want to make this point. Google Classroom is probably going to be a little more useful in a lot of ways because chances are you might go to a school district that actually uses it. I like making the websites. I think they're very beneficial, especially because you can take that with you. I have my own website I've used for years. I used it for years when I was teaching. In a post-pandemic world, there's so many learning management systems, LMSs, Google Classroom being one, where they're basically operate like a website. But I think it's a good skill to have for both. But let's go back here. Let's go to Google. Oh, I got Google right there. You're going to make a Google Classroom. And what we need to do, look at me getting all quick. Let's go down here. Just in case you ever need to see it, the assignments are all posted here. I think that is the website one. I'm kind of reversing them, but I'm doing this for a reason. You have some guidelines you have to do. We're going to make a Google Classroom, or you're going to make a Google Classroom. You're going to post one announcement in your classroom. You're going to embed a YouTube video in your Google Classroom. You're going to create a hyperdoc, which a hyperdoc, let me just to clarify what that is. That's a document that many people can work on. So maybe you're doing a report and you're working with someone in another state or another house down the road, and you make a Word doc and you put it on Google Docs, and then other people can edit it and make changes to it. That's a hyperdoc, means it's got movement to it. The hyperdoc that you're going to post can be a sign up sheet. It can be an editing sheet for an activity. It can be a brainstorming activity. I don't care. I just want to make sure that you can post it. And then you're going to send an invite to me at jallen@shepherd.edu, or you can post that in your submission box. Usually, if you have the class join code, that's also fine. So let me do this. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't mean to cough. I'm trying not to on you, even though it's a screen. Um, let's go. All right. Of course, I'm taking it for granted that everyone has one of these, but just in case you don't, you do need to have a Google account um, to make the Google Classroom. All you have to do, though, is go to Google up in the thing and it'll say sign up, add another account. That's it. Um, mine's right here. And once you have your Google account and you're logged in, so I have my J right there that I'm logged in. I always call it the waffle. I'm sure other people, there's an actual name for it. I just call it the waffle. Cook your waffle. So you can see all Google, and let me give a shout out. We're not doing a lot of what this has. I do want to just kind of give it a shout out. Google has a lot of cool things. One being Google Drive, where you can store things. You got your contact, you got Google Translate, you got YouTube, things like that, your calendar. I use Google Keeps, which is on here too. I don't know if it's at the top or at the bottom here, but oh, Keep. That's a nice appointment planner. I have the app on my phone. Pretty cool. But for the purposes of us today, what you have to do, you got to go. Oh, there's arts and culture, by the way, if you want to do something. Forms is down here. That can also work as a hyperdoc. But you can see all this stuff is here. Pretty cool. But you're going to click Google Classroom. And again, these instructions are also up on a non-Dr. Allen video in case you need a little help that isn't quite as baffling. As you can see, here's a lot of things. There's some other students who have done some over the past. I try to kind of clean these up. But if you go over here, you should be able to hit X. You can join class or create class. And that's like I was saying, as long as I have the code, I can join the classes that you can submit. We're going to create a class. I understand all this. I'm going to hit that. And my class is going to be history. Why don't we do this? European history. European history. And you can make this up. Just say section 1, subject social studies. I like that. And room 104. I'm going to create it. And slowly it's going to create for you. There we go. And as you can see, by the way, you can customize these. You can put different backgrounds. I'm not requiring that for today, but if you click on that, you can do different things. You can put different photos. As you can see, I'll put this one on there just for fun. Oh, let's do that. And we'll select that as a class theme. Green is my favorite color, so I'll do that. And there we go. Now, announcements. I said you had to have one announcement. Right there it is. Boom. So you'll say, let's do this. Welcome to class, everyone. Looking forward to teaching and learning about some European history. And I'll post it. Boom. That's the first thing. That's the first thing you have to do. Now let's go back. Let's see. Oh, you have to embed a YouTube video. Pretty straightforward here. Okay. Now, if you looked, actually, when I did that, you can actually put a YouTube video there. There's some other ways to do it, though. I'm going to cancel that. If you hit classwork, see that? There's nothing there. But there's a create button. So if you hit create, you can do assignments, you can do questions, you can do materials. We're going to hit assignment. And as you look, you can do, let's say, video reaction on Napoleon. Watch and react to the video. And I'm going to hit that. And As you can see, you can do that or search. We'll just put Napoleon. I'm not trying. Oops. Let's try to spell it right. And we'll just click that. I'm just going to pick one. Don't hold me to any of these. We'll do oversimplified and add video. Boom. It's there. And I can assign it to my class, whoever's in it. It's there. So the video is there. That's the next thing you had to do. Now you need to do a hyperdoc. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's go back to our class. I don't care again where you put this. I'm going to put this here. Please sign up for the presentation times. And I'm going to go to my Google Drive. Now this is where it gets kind of interesting. You click Google Drive, this is where all your Google Docs and all that there are. You see, now here's something I should do, and I didn't really get into this. This is important stuff. All right, we're going to go ahead and cancel that. You go back here, if you look, there's Google Docs, there's Sheets, which is like Excel, there's Slides, which is like PowerPoint. All of these things are hyperdocs. They're things that when people have access to them, you grant access to them, they can work on it. What I would like to do is I'm going to do a sign-up sheet. So let's go. We're going to hit blank. Sorry, my face is in the way. I'm going to put that. Sign up sheet. And you can see dismiss. We're going to dismiss that. Looks like it's all pretty cool. Editing. Looks like there. What we're going to do, let me click share. Maybe. We're going to see something. I thought I had to give access, but it looks like I can. That's a little slow. Sorry, internet. There we go. Apologies. Sign up share. Okay. Up right now. That's all right. Oh no, my video went away. Hold on. Am I still there? Oh, it stopped sharing screen. Sorry, I'm going back. There we go. Sorry, I told you the storms were in the area. I'll jump back in there. So you can see I've made the sign-up sheet. That's the hyperdoc. So let's do this. I'm going to, again, make my face. I'm just going to get out of that. So you can see I'm back in my Google Classroom. Let's go back and go to Google Drive. Hopefully it'll be there under recent. I didn't title it, of course, but that's all right. You'll have it in there. You just hit add and it'll be there. And you can just put please sign up for a presentation. And again, it doesn't have to be a Google Doc. It can be a presentation, it can be a PowerPoint. Please view the PowerPoint, or please make changes to your PowerPoint, whatever. We'll post that up. And I think we've got most everything. Oh, send the invite. How do you send the invite? Good question. When you go up here, there's a couple ways to do it. You can actually just submit this code, which I think that just has that. You can display it. You can copy code. You can copy class invite link. If you hit that, you can just submit that or email that to me. Either one works. You can put it on Brightspace under the submission thing. Or you can just copy the class code and send that to me. Either one works. And don't worry, if I, for some reason, can't get into the class, I do email it. Don't not give you points or anything like that. But that's what you have to do for the Google Classroom. That's it. You have to put a YouTube video up. You have to put a hyperdoc on there. You have to create it, of course. And then, of course, put the announcement. And as you can see, it puts it all right there. So that's the Google Classroom. And the reason why I wanted to do that first, let me go and get out of there. Get out of that too. All right. When you go back up here, I also want you to create a website. Now, this is always probably everyone's past experience has told me that it's kind of most people's least favorite thing to do. I have kept it in here. I debate it every semester, every time I teach this class. But the main reason I do it is I think it helps with a lot of the stuff that you're going to be doing in this class is intuitive, or it's trial and error. You have to, some of the times it'll work. I need to say, oh, that didn't work. I got to try this. This kind of makes you do that and kind of get in a little bit of a flow with it. So, with that being said, I'm going to create a website. It doesn't have to be anything major or anything like that. And I'm going to show you how to do it. But you have a choice. You can either do Google, I'm sorry, you can do the Google Sites, which is what most people have been doing lately, Weebly or Wix. I have Weebly Education, and it's actually now just called Weebly. But let me go back to my Google again. I'm going to open a new tab. If you look, I have to admit, I'm better with Weebly than I am with any of them. But if you go here, there should be Google Sites, I thought was on here. If not, that's no big deal. We'll just go back out. Let's try Google Sites. Whoops. Google Sites. I don't know what shows up on my thing there because my son uses his computer sometimes. And most time it's just silliness. Actually, all the time it's silliness. If you look here, you can definitely make new sites. You can go here, and most people kind of like this, and you start to make your web page. I'm not going to get into this too much. I just wanted to show you where Google Sites was because I'm going to show you Weebly because I know Weebly better. And I would strongly suggest maybe trying Weebly, but a lot of people prefer Google Sites because they've used it before. And I should add this. Some people like WordPress. I'm fine if you do WordPress. I'm not really worried about the method that you make the website. I just want you to be able to make the website. So what we need to do, actually, I'm going to pull up my Safari. I'm going to go to Weebly. This is free, by the way. Glad this came up. Anytime you have to make any tech in this class, it's free. Do not do any of the add-ons. They're not required. Some of them are going to ask you if you want to add on. No, you do not. Now, unless you want to, but I'm not requiring that or asking you. There's nothing that you need to do in this class that you need an add-on for. When we get to Kahoot, I'm sure there's going to be there's a screen that pops up that throws people off sometimes about all these plans. There's a way out of that. It only does it periodically, but no add-ons are required. Everything's free. Now, with that being said, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to lower it down just a hair. You need to go to Weebly.com if you're going to use Weebly. Excuse me. I'm going to log in. Means you're probably going to have to create an account. This is another reason why I wanted to do the Google first. You can just log in with your Google, and that's fine. And Google will allow you to create accounts for all of these things, and it is a little bit of a time saver, and it helps with passwords and such. I've had Weebly for a long time, actually pre-Google use, so I still have to sign in a little bit my traditional way, which is fine because I don't want to lose any more websites. Once you log in or once you make it, if you're going to use Weebly, here's always the key. Do I remember my password? Luckily, I have my phone here, so I didn't know it was going to do that. And now we're in business, I think. Maybe, possibly, hopefully, slowly, maybe. Slow. You can do it. Maybe. I think it's going to do it. I'm not frozen. I'm waiting. There it went. We all have good days. We all have bad days. All right. You're going to come to something like this. And this looks like a lot of stuff, and it is. But let's look what we need to do. You need to create a website. You need to create a title page with your name. I'll show you my sample here in a minute. A sub page. The tutorial is posted, and then underneath that sub page, you just need to post something, whether it's a link, a handout, or something like that. That's it. I'm not looking for much on the websites. I just want a title page, a sub page, and something that you can post on it. As you can see, boom, there it is. Now, you're probably saying, well, I need to know how to do this. I'm going to show you. By the way, just to show you my website, there's a few of them actually I have. That's one of them. Let me do another. Let me jump around a little bit. My old one, I think it was this one. Let me see if I got this posted up still. Yeah, it's an old one when I was teaching. As you can see, I used it when I was social studies teaching, and I have to admit, I did this kind of store everything, but it just was. This is a sub page. You're going to add one of those. You're going to have your home page, and then you'll have everything there. I used mine a lot for putting my handouts, my PowerPoints. Parents liked it because they could go through and look. I know LMSs did this, but I switched schools a few times, so it was easier to have my own. And also, I had stuff like National History Day. I actually did a year where I taught language arts for one section, and um, it, I learned a lot. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but I thought it was funny. But anyway, as you can see, and then there's stuff on there. But you're going to have a home page, you're going to have a sub page, and then you're going to have something posted on there. And then it can be a video, it can be a handout or whatever. All right. With that being said, I'm kind of babbling. All right. So let me get my face out of here. And that's the edit site. So I will be editing that website. We're going to look at this. All right. My site. We're going to add a site. You're going to click that little thing. You just need a website. I would say, as you can see, you can experiment and look around if you're going to do Weebly. I personally, it's a little slow, sorry. And again, I like Weebly when it's working faster. Again, you can use Google, you can use Wix or whatever. So let's see if this actually comes on here at any time. Maybe it'll let me pick one. That's right, I can just pick that one. It'll work if it'll load, if it'll do it. Very slow. You know what? We're going to do something real quick here. Let's get out of that. We're going to get a little revolutionary here. Let's see if we can make it really good. Maybe just my internet, but it's slow. Could be me. Hopefully I'm back. I got kicked on. You might have heard me say, oh no, hopefully I'm still on. Sorry, there are storms around here and I think it kicked me off. I'm going to go back and just show you Weebly. I think that was the problem. Let me go to Google. Yeah, there we go. Weebly. I'm going to jump to this. I've probably been going too long. All right, we're going to log back in. I might, just in case, when I post this up, I might try to edit some of this stuff out. Of course, now it's not even letting me in. This is fantastic. We'll see. Let's see. There we go. Well, if you're watching this, and it seems a little clunky, it's because there were storms and I edited out something so it would not make you watch this twice. Hopefully I got this. All right. There we go. We're back. All righty. Let me go back in here. Making a new site. I told you to make a new site. It's pretty straightforward. If you go down here and hit add site, it'll do it. I had started to do one right here, so I better click that again. I'm going to get too much of an overflow. But when you click that add site down there at the bottom, just to show you again, down there, add site, you get to this. Now, when you get to this screen, you have to hit edit site. And you'll get all this stuff. You do need to pick a name. I'm just going to put 380. Well, no, why would I do that in the undergrad test site? And we can just put, see, oh, this is good too. Free with Weebly branding on your website. That's all we want. I don't want you to pay for a plan or anything like that. Okay, so pick that one. There's my site. Now you can edit this however you want. My site will just do European history, and then you click and edit background, edit. I mean, you are welcome to kind of get cute with it. I would probably change my image. I'm just going to pick something fun, just for, European history. Let's see if we got something. All background. Let's pick something kind of structures. Maybe we can get something European looking. You click there. If any of those are European looking, but we'll pretend. Oh, that's very kind of European. So we'll pick that. So that's done. Okay. Now you can clear out a lot of this. And this is where some people hate this. But if you go here, let me go ahead and go there. That should be all my faces in the way. Once you put that on there, you hit save. And then you can start changing titles. So we can do European history. You can just take that out. If you sit there, just hit the X, delete. You don't need that on there. Oops. Delete, delete, delete. Go down here. You don't need any of that. You are welcome to delete it. Delete. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Now you can bling this up if you're comfortable doing it. Delete. I am not going to bling it up though, because I'm assuming you probably want to just get it done. All right, so we got rid of all of this. All right, so that is, yeah, get rid of that. That's after you pick your template. Delete. As you can see, that's there. Now, I know that might have got a little clunky because of me losing my power and coming back on there. But let me just say this. All you have to do is when you pick your website, you just pick the template, title it, and just you can clean that other stuff out with just clicking the X. I know it could get a little weird. And there is another video up if you need it, or you can do the Google Sites, which some people do think is easier. Now that's our homepage. If you hit pages, you can see we have one there. These are the other pages we have. I only am requiring one other page, so you can put something like English history. Okay, so we'll go back. That should fix it. Okay, let's go back. Thanks. There it goes. And these you can actually get rid of if you want. I'm going to delete them. As you can see, I just clicked those three little lines there. Delete, delete. And I'm going to, the reason I'm doing this for a reason, you do have to clean it up a little bit. Now we're in the European history things. Now, I said you only had to put a video up. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all this out. And again, this is the intuitive part. I kind of like that you have to do this only because it gets you used to like checking stuff out and getting used to how this works, because there are a lot of websites that make you do this type of stuff, Wix being one. Again, but if you have a preference or you've made some websites on some other stuff, that is fine. Let's go. I'm actually cleaning this all out on for a reason, because I'm going to show you how to make it. So clear all that out. As you can see, these X's are all gone. Should take care of it all. Okay. Oh, there's two there. I want all that junk gone. I want this thing clean. I'll show you why in a sec. Okay, whoops. Oh, that's cute. There we go. Of course, I picked the one template that has 6 million things on it. Sorry, I know this isn't the most riveting television or video here watching this, but I do want to clear it out. You could do this too if you really wanted to, which we'll just do that. Okay. Well, they really want me to take this financing. All right. Is that it? Okay. Now, the reason why I wanted to declare all that out is you can see this is our sub page. I hit page and I renamed that on the side. When you build, you hit build. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here to the side. I told you you had to have either a document or you need to have a video. We're going to do a video. So if you take this YouTube and you see, this is how you build it. You move this stuff over. I'm going to drop the YouTube video right there. Now, video is on purpose. So you just click here and it should let you post your video link. So again, we'll just go to YouTube. Napoleon video. Of course, I spelled that wrong again. But that's okay. I'll get my link. I'll pause that. Sorry about that talking over me.
In history, many people were born with noble titles and the right to.
All right, you post that right there. Hopefully, I hope this didn't get too convoluted for you, but click that. As you can see, it's there. Now, I'm not telling you have to do this, but if you ever want to add anything, I told you could do a file. You just drag file and you drop it below it. And you can just upload a file there. So I can just upload a file and drag it from, or click from the computer. We'll just put the Cold War chart there. And boom, it's there. They're both there. That's it. Now, here's the key. If you do the Weebly, you're going to hit publish. And that's your website. That's what you need to submit for the website. But if you click it, you can also click it and check it out. As you can see, there's our website, and there's the second page. There's the video. That's your website. I like the websites. I didn't do the full PowerPoint on here, but I just think if you move around from schools or if you want a home base, it is a nice thing to have. Or if you really want to be risky, you can have students make websites. I have done that, and actually, I will post my sample. I might have already done that. Now, was I that smart? There's a bit resource on hyperlinks and such. I guess I wasn't. I'll show it to you. I had students actually make websites before, and it's actually pretty successful. You just need to make sure you bring your patient's hat, because getting them situated and understanding how Weebly works can be a little tricky. And again, our Google Sites. I have a feeling after this video, most of you are probably going to be doing Google Sites because it might be a little easier to use. But, hopefully you'll give Weebly at least a little try. But you have it there, and that's it. Like I say, going back to the students, one thing with the students, you can have them log in, and maybe I had mine do research on an individual from World War I, and they had to post a YouTube video. They had to do a 2-paragraph summary of who the person was, and they had to make a homepage, and then they sent me the links. And it was a nice writing assignment that was a little different. So you can use websites either for yourself or for your students. But those are the things. Just to kind of go back, I've already went a long time today. Make sure you publish it if you do use the Weebly. That should do it for this week. I'm sorry, I know this was a long one, and most of the time I will not take this much time, but I felt like we had to cover a few things. I will make sure, in case you need to know also, the research assignment is there. The overview is here. It's 5 to 8 pages if you need it. I don't want to talk too long today, but it's there. Welcome, everyone. I know this will hopefully be a good class, and I do apologize. I know this video was a little long, and if the Weebly thing got a little convoluted, I apologize. Just fire me an email with the power going out and all. I got a little goofy, but I don't want to make you sit anymore. Thank you all very much for your patience. I'm glad everyone's in here. And again, contact me anytime. That is the most important thing if you have any problems with any of this stuff. So talk to you later. See you next week.